Good evening, televiewers. To Prime R, the last for this week. We are still in the mood of mourning. It was not easy yesterday, but we thank God that we are alive and that the family of the fallen girl and military gendarme officer is alive to continue life. So life continues out here. In our studios at Fangudron Bange, Koto, Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, where we are going to be discussing two key topics this evening. We're going to be asking ourselves whether we all need university degrees to be successful in life. Do we need an advanced level? Do we need these big certificates, doctorate, and a host of others to be declared successful in life? Do all the successful people in life in possession of these big diplomas? We're going to be discussing that, as well as looking at what it takes to succeed differently in life. We are discussing this with our regular panelists who are here. I want to respect the gender. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening to everybody. I am happy to be here today as usual, and I'm excited about the topics we're talking about today because it's one of those things, those questions that people have been wanting to find answers to, and we're hoping that by the end of this session people are going to have answers. And I also beckon everybody to participate in today's program. Get to participate and ask your questions, and let's together move from there.
Miss A, your hairdo.
I went back to the 70s.
You went to the salon today?
No, it was yesterday.
For this show?
Oh, this show. So I actually had to visit a salon that one of the persons I'm watching us here, she actually recommended that I should do my hair there since Boya was a little bit.
How do they call that one?
It's enough.
Okay, we are also in the company of Mr. Buji Leancine. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's another Friday, and we are here once more to share with our wonderful audience. Every Friday, we have committed to empower the nation, to empower individuals live better lives. And today, we are talking about a very interesting topic. Education, academic certificates, and the rest. It's been a controversial topic, but definitely stay close to your screens as we dissect this.
Mr. Neighbor Paul is back in the house. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. I am pleased to be back. This week, last week, I wasn't around, yes, because I went to equip myself. I went to learn, had a 2-day seminar in Boya, and I'm right back equipped. And we have a wonderful topic that we're going to be discussing today. And of course, as usual, we urge you to stay glued to your TV, give your contributions, because these things concern us, and it is our duty to sharpen ourselves, because they said, iron sharpened iron, right? Yeah, so that is it. So let's have a wonderful 2 hours.
Okay. Ms. L, I'll start with you. Do we need a degree in life to be successful? Must we be a master's degree holder, first degree holder? I went to the University of Yaoundé, I went to the University of Boya, I went to the University of Ngaoundéré, and a host of others. Are these the successful people we have around?
Okay, Mr. Liu, I must say that this topic is very, very important, and it has its faces. Yes, it has its faces. Now, we have to understand our definition of success. One time I said it here that your definition of success must not be my definition. But some way, somehow, the word self-satisfaction will be found somewhere. When we define success, fulfillment, self-satisfaction will be found somewhere. Meaning that what could be termed success for you might not necessarily be what I will see before terming as success for me. And going to the aspect of university degree, that has to do with the normal formal education that we get involved in. Now, the question is, why did a degree come into existence? We have to understand that according to the level of education, the whole system of education in our country, it's in levels. We have the kindergarten, we have primary level, nursery school, primary level, secondary school, high school, and then the university. Now, you discover that these levels were just separated to be able to prove to the world that you've had an extra information. Let's take note of the word I said, information. To be able to prove to the world that some people have become more informed than others. But now when it comes to success in life, it has a lot to do with practicals, with applications and implementations. So if we want to depend on degrees for success, there is a very big question mark there. Reason being that when we get to understand our definition of success, success has its journey in it. And some people's journey does not include a university degree. But now, because of the fact that we grew up having this knowledge, it's a laid down information that was passed down to another generation. We were just informed that for us to be known as literates, as in that you've gone to school and completed the circle of formal education, you are supposed to obtain a degree. Now, the degree did not come in place that it is when you obtain a degree that you'll be successful. We were informed about degrees, that is what will validate that you have successfully gone through the system of education. And that's why we find so many people going through school, and then when they come back, they cannot do anything with what they've acquired, because it was just ordinary information. And it's more of the system of education is meant to help you prove yourself to the world. That's why you hear some people that are like, I must go to university. Ask them now, why do you want to go to the university? That's when you get to understand that they are going because they have an understanding that to show that you've passed through school, you should have a degree.
When you have degree, when there's ceremony, they put you on the high table.
That's it. That's why I said it's more about proving a point to the world. Because there's some people that if you want to get audience in front of them,
Doctors
they feel like
around. When they're sharing chicken, they give you the leg.
But now, Mr. Leo, this is the question. Being called a doctor, does it mean you're successful?
No, that's why we are discussing today. Yes, but I want us to get practical. Let's look at the successful people in Cameroon. Let's not look at the guys out there. Anyway, you may see quote some of them, and look at the successful people and compare with the professors and the doctors. Who are the successful guys in Cameroon?
Mr. Leo, when you ask the question, as Ms. L said earlier, success is something that is it pertains to individuals at different level. However, there is a general notion of what success means, because to be successful, it means that you're definitely able to take care of yourself, take care of others, and actually impact the society. That's for me what success looks like. So somehow this topic becomes very controversial, because at a time some people are definitely not successful because of their certificates, because of their first degree. Why do I say so? Someone say, a first degree holder. You want me to be an administrative assistant, you want me to be a secretary, you want me to be a PA, it cannot work. I get a situation where someone in trying to criticize the notion that people have gone to school and instead their first degree is holding them back. Someone say, you see them, they move in the streets with their shoulders high and say, I'm a degree holder, I'm a degree holder. So the response was, you hold degree pass who? Or if you like, you can hold it with both hands. So the whole thing is, it's what you do that makes the difference. It's not the certificate that you have. Definitely, so anybody can buy a certificate. We're in a society that everything is possible. But what distinguishes you is, what additional thing do you know that makes you stand out? Practically in Cameroon, the people who have done great things, if you want to name the rich people around, the successful people around, those who are actually making a difference, most of them, with a greater impact, they did not go to school to a particular level. Some of them don't even know how to read and write. Me, I don't really know categorically somebody like Alhaji Dampolo, his level of education, but I know that he has people with doctorate degrees who are working for him, but he did not attain that level of education. So Now the question is, what made him to stand out? That's what we should be looking at. It means that there's particular information. Information can change your life. There's a particular information that he knows, that he is able to attain, that even the people in school have not attained that. Talking about the worst case scenario where you have situation where it's almost like we are taught to reproduce. Even a first degree holder, even a master's degree holder in this country is still reproducing, which means that they cannot actually create something. You have doctors who you cannot, they have no creation. They have no creation of their own. But in other societies, if they say you are a doctor of this, definitely there is something somewhere that you have invented. But that's not the case here. In our country, in most cases, one of the highest things that you could do, the more certificates you acquire, the highest thing you could do is definitely becoming a teacher to reproduce more people like you. Mm-hmm. But for us to be able to move ahead, we'll definitely understand that in and out of Cameroon, those who have made a difference, some of them don't even have a college degree, but okay, they made a difference. The question is why.
Mr. Niba, the question I want to ask is, degree holders, be they first degree, maybe HND, whatever, are they necessarily successful persons, going by the numbers that you know?
All right. I think measuring success taking certificates as the basis is a wrong approach if you want to look at it that way, because success, as Mr. Buji rightly said, is very subjective. Success to me is not the same thing like to you. So if we are to measure people at maybe at the level of that degree, means that we hold a degree, an HND or master's degree, means that you are successful, then it means that the concept of success is somehow misleading, because as he rightly said, success is what you can do for yourself and what you can do for your society. Yes, so if you would hold your certificate and you are not creating any impact for yourself, you are not creating any impact in your society, you're not solving the problems, then I don't think that is success to me. One day I wrote on Facebook that when I met a classmate of mine and he started measuring us on the basis of who was first in class and who was last, you turned me off. I'm just praying that we should separate, because there's a bigger world to exploit than the classroom. Measuring with degrees is just some kind of parameters that were used within a four-wall room. But now life is bigger, life is large. The whole world cannot be embodied in one room. And in most times, people who go out of the box and make real things happen in life, they rarely depend mostly on their certificates. If you want to look at those who have created big impacts in Cameroon and beyond, you discover these are people who took out time, kept their certificates aside, and then ask relevant questions that here are mine, here are things, what can I do in order to achieve this? And in the course of doing that, we could measure that, okay, they created some impact for themselves and for the society, and we can at least term them to be successful in one way or the other. But look at those who have certificates and their main aim is that I have certificates. They are not ready to succumb and serve in order to generate value in the society and make money for themselves. We had the scenario last time here in Cameroon where we had professors striking in Yaoundé. That was doctors striking in Yaoundé. That was somehow pathetic, because like a researcher like me, so many researches that I've read in foreign countries are researches that are developed, policies are developed by doctors in those countries. But in Cameroon here, you rarely find researches that define policies that are developed by professors and doctors, which makes certificates very, very questionable. So getting certificates is a basic that normally we should be able to acquire basic knowledge, should be able to read and write and know how to reason and interact with people in the society in one way or the other. But to be able to really create impact and somehow be successful, to me, you must be able to create value, not use, I always say that the worst recycling cycle that I know is that of the best teacher producing the best teacher, the best student, and the best student becomes the best teacher. When you learn and you have those degrees, go to the world and be creative. You understand? If we are a consumption economy, it's because we don't create. We learn and teach, and we teach people to teach, and we keep teaching a generation. Meanwhile, in other countries, the Chinese, the Americans, the Europeans, what do? They learn and they enter the laboratories and they produce. I watched a comedy comedy slot last time, and when I watch things, I always try to interpret them in one way or the other. That guy was saying something funny, but it made a lot of sense. What was he saying? We have people who failed chemistry in school, but they are those producing skincare products in Cameroon. We have people who are producing whether it's breast enlargement products, but the same products that you rub in your hands, they don't enlarge your hands and stuff like that. Because these people, they try to manifest something that is not really real, and at the end of the day, it's not productive, and it can't really be tangible. But if we are learning something and we back up with degrees should have more weight when you can actually get into the laboratory, bring out something that is really substantial, that can be a solution to a problem that is existing in your society. Then there we can say that, okay, this person is successful. Somebody quoted in one village meeting, and somebody said in my quarter where I grew up, that we have water crisis because we have several doctors there, and they are always given the opportunity to talk, and when they go there to talk, they have little knowledge about project management. They go talk only grammar. At the end of the day, the project are not realized. Why? Because they don't have the practical knowledge. They have not practiced. They have not really taken out initiative and carried out things that can give them the experience to be able to realize projects. So getting degrees is very important, but when you get the degrees, don't hold them and then carry over your shoulders that you have degrees. The question that this society today is asking is not whether you hold a degree or not. The question the society is asking of you is that what can you do with the basic knowledge that you have acquired?
Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. I don't know where you got this topic. Very important. Someone can be successful but not fruitful in life, exams. You are successful in education but not fruitful in the society. So successful is very easy, but not to be fruitful is not easy. By Nerus, writing from Douala, okay? Nerus sees it from the prism of being fruitful. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Elvis Fonde Fonong from Batoke. I would like to have the number of the lady and for her to be my mentor. You want Miss L's number? Just write to me after the program. I'll send you her number. Miss L, I hope you agree that I share your number with him or her. I don't know who the person is. But Miss L, we are looking at a degree. How has degrees helped people to succeed in life?
Okay, I must say that regarding the aspect of degrees, it's not like degrees have helped people to successful and help and actually cripple some other people. But now I feel that degree has done just one thing, based on my observation. The only thing that degrees have done to people is to create self-awareness. Awareness, that's all. Because when you're getting to the university, they'll ask you the program you want to study. Which program do you want to focus on? And now when you take up that program, now you're getting more information about that particular sector, the field. You're getting more information. So it's just giving you awareness. It's what happened. It's what happened even with me when I went to school in the university. I was doing accounting. It was for me to get awareness about what accounts is all about and everything. And I kept telling people, I said, I don't want to be a practicing accountant. They'll be like, so why are you here? I said, because I want to get informed. So degrees have helped people in the aspect of awareness. And also, because of the sector, the environment where people have degrees, be it professional institutions or the university, it has what it does when it concerns you being able to get out of your shelf. That's why I said awareness. Now, I must say that people who are watching me right now can bear with me, that most people were very quiet and very calm when they get to the level of having their degrees, being in a professional school, wherever they are. They get out of their shelf because they get to meet new persons from different walks of life, meet people who have different ideas, who have different ways of reacting and communicating, acting towards people, thinking. And so you get exposed to these new things. It's creating awareness, although the awareness has a way used to kill some other people at the end of the day. Because I'll tell you that the awareness that takes place, in the university milieu, I think it did more harm to people, to young people.
Why?
Than good. Now, like I said earlier, I'm saying so not based on statistics, but based on personal observations. Now, if I look at most young people who went to the university to get their degrees, in the course of interacting, some of them lost their identity Why trying to be aware? Because you maintaining your identity and having self-awareness, these are two different things. Awareness, like I said, is information about the choosing field, but now identity is what you are actually supposed to be doing. That's why most people even go to university, they don't know what they want to study. They allow people advise them and choose for them. Why? Because they don't even have a view of what they are supposed to do. Identity is lost. So when you lost your identity before getting to university, the process starts from there. You don't even know what you want to study in the first place. You start studying it, you swap. There are people who get into university, they do this program for the first semester. And the next semester, they are changing their program. Why? Because there is no identity. They have lost their identity in the course of trying to get awareness. Awareness of a system that was made by man, created by a set of persons. So university degree, it's not like, I'm not saying for people not to misquote what was saying this evening. We're not saying that university degree has made people to be complete failures. But we're saying that when it concerns the success equation or the quotient, it has a small amount that is contributing towards life success. So it's okay for you to decide to want to go for your degree. But if you can understand that trying to get a degree in that self-awareness without having an identity, it will lead to total frustration. That's what's happening to so many people. You go to a university, you learn something, you leave the university and realize that this is your true identity. You start trying to learn something else when you've wasted 3 years in school.
Okay.
And it's very dangerous. It has frustrated so many young people.
Good evening, Mr. Gentleman. In our country, we pay degrees, not output. So, do not blame people who value degrees because they become unsuccessful if they can't get employment because of poor governance. Nevertheless, degrees are the reasons many are still unemployed because they want their degrees to help them. Good evening, sir. Please, can I have the lady's number for directives in my studies? Write me on WhatsApp after the program if you want the lady's number. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Success has nothing to do with certificates. Smartness is what we need. Chief Ngek Desmond, writing from Kumba. Good evening. Firstly, I'm Ayuk Blanche from Tico. Based on my own opinion, a degree is not a guarantee to success because firstly, in Cameroon, business is the key. Being an self-entrepreneur is a success of today. A degree is just a backup in case an opportunity turns up. Many out there don't even have degrees. Okay. I don't know whether Carlson Ayaba is online. Good evening. Welcome, Carlson. Okay, struggling to. Okay, Carlson, can you put your good evening and welcome?
Hey, Mr. Leo.
Yeah, can you fix your put it on landscape?
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thank you for inviting me to this program. Sorry for being late again.
Can you put your phone on auto rotate format?
Okay.
Oops, no. Can you tell it the other way around, please? Not possible. Okay. Hello, Carlson. Not possible. Okay. Hello, Carlson.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Your first reaction to what we are discussing: university degree, success in life. Okay. Yes. Your first reaction to what we are discussing.
So I think. So when we talk about education, the university degree, what's a successful life. It depends on what we define, how we define a successful life. What's a successful life? And that the people can come up with a clear definition that we will know if a university degree is a requirement for that. Now, a successful life depends on the context. It depends primarily on the context of the country. In places like Cameroon, a successful life is regarded as somebody who has a house, who has a family, who has a car, who has a stable job, or not a car, who has a stable job, so it's a house and a family. In other areas, it depends. Now, if we have to define what is successful based on these three points I've talked about them, having a university degree is not actually a requirement. We have seen many wealthy and successful people in Cameroon who actually have a university degree, but it becomes to explain to the fact that to be successful it is not based on paper. It's actually based on the skills which you can provide. And now, when the world which is fast changing, we have hard self skills. I will tell my own story particularly on TV. You know me very well, Mr. Before where I am today, I started selling in a bar. I was selling drinks in a bar. Later I became a DJ. And later I became where I am today. So all of these things I did was not because of some university degree I had, but because of the skills. I remember my first job, I never went to any interview, but because of how I was able to demonstrate the skill, I attracted some attention. So having a university degree in the Cameroon context in particular, I don't think it defines success because, first of all, the Cameroon context does not really support those who go to school. Have people who go to school have all sorts of degrees, but at the end of the day, they have no place to work. And because they have no place to work or have no place to express what they have learned, they cannot be successful. In other terms, for us to be successful, therefore, we cannot be looking for other people. We need to look at how, first, to solve problems in our communities. Once we start identifying the kind of problems we have in our communities and start seeing how we can solve them, then you start attracting some success. So it's not about going to opportunity people with. I had one of the panelists saying earlier, was ashamed to see people with PhD holders, people who have attained the highest level of education marching to the government for jobs. It tells us that having a degree is not going to guarantee success in the context of Cameroon. At the end of the day, what is very important is for you to have hard and soft skills. Now, the problem also about degrees is there are some degrees which are not applicable here in Cameroon, but yet we study them. So I don't know if somebody who studies such degrees cannot actually excel in Cameroon because if you study, let's say, forensics, there is no way you can practice forensics here in Cameroon or these things that historians dig up artifacts and research them. You cannot do those kind of things, cannot help you progress in Cameroon. So the degree also should be very contextual. We should know what to do. In the Cameroon context, the kind of things which help promote success, we have agriculture, we have science and technology. Away from that, Cameroon is still a long way to come to start supporting success in things like literature, in the arts domain, except for things like journalism, which has been progressing very, very well. But in the arts domain, we are still behind. So there are two pieces I said. For success and a degree, we need to know what the definition of success is in the context of Cameroon I've explained. And now for the degree, we need to know the kind of degrees which are applicable to the Cameroon context to be able to give someone a successful life.
Okay, he just raised a question I was going to ask you. How do we become successful when we understand that many persons have studied what cannot be applied in Cameroon? We know of many persons, or thousands of persons who have degrees in some fields that jobs are not available, even if not of the inavailability of jobs, the fact that they cannot be applicable because their services are not readily needed around our society.
Yes, Mr. Leo, in February early this year, when I had a seminar with Mr. Teke as a second speaker, when he came on stage, he was like, he just laughed from the onset. He said, you went to school, you got the first degree. I have to say that was not enough. You went for the second degree, you went for the third, fourth, and the fifth. Yet, nothing happened because you thought getting these degrees were going to make you maybe have something doing that was going to put food on your table. Now you understand that the concept is like people don't know that what is limiting them is not actually the certificate that they are holding. Maybe they go for another one thinking that is going to help them. But the question is not the certificate you have. The question is what can the certificate that you have do to you as an individual. You cannot graduate with a certificate. For instance, you have people, I was like, since I'm more concerned with marketing, you have somebody who has an HND in digital marketing who if you give the card, they don't even know what an email is. And Mr. Paul had such situations. Then you start wondering, but how did they even go? Who awarded them this certificate? How did they get here? How did we get here? Because we end up having certificates that even we cannot even defend them. If we say, okay, do what you are saying you are holding a certificate for, they cannot do it. So at the end of the day, the problem goes back to the individual. What do you want to do? But when it comes to certifications, you are not just getting a certificate. In fact, a certificate for me is more important to back up what you know, not making you learn a job that you cannot even defend. And in most cases, most students only realize that maybe what they studied was useless when they have already graduated. Yes, when they are declared successful. That's when they understand that so this successful like this is not actually the real successful. What the school system says, successful candidates, but in reality the successful candidates are supposed to be seen in the field, where we study things that are not applicable in our immediate environment. You cannot get with you cannot graduate with a certificate maybe in anthropology, where you even look at our local museums here, a lot of things. Those things nobody even gives value to it. So how relevant would it be, will your certificate be to you when you get up, where in fact the white man is even valuing these things better than us? These things have been shipped to Europe. So the question is, but before you are going for a degree, know what you want. I would say education is very important. That's one thing that we cannot dispute it. But the certificates you are acquiring, you need to actually have a why. Because if you don't have a why for why you are having a degree, you don't go to school like SWA, you want to be a university graduate. It's not about a university graduate, it's about what can you do as a university graduate. That's because it's situations like this that a school like Shape Academy was created, where you realize that a lot of people, certificate holders everywhere, in fact even the Cameroon government is already facing the heat of having a lot of unemployable youths in the society. All those people have certificates. Even if we were to define success as even having a job, most of them cannot even attain that level, which is very, very challenging for the society.
Yes, but he said that it depends on the community or society, the context, and some persons have also written here that in Cameroon, success is to get a wife, have a car, construct a house, take care of your family, and not necessarily, but out of the country, degrees actually qualify persons for successful persons. But these big names out there, are they really big because of their degrees? The biggest guys we know out there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, but it's nice for persons to.
Yeah. It's very important for us to understand. The question is that it's not as if these people don't acquire these certificates. It's just because they see the certificates as a basic and they go on to acquire knowledge. Check out these people, they keep on learning. You understand? They keep asking questions, and when they ask the questions and they can't get answers, they search for these questions, they search for answers, and they give the answers. But here, when we have certificates, we hold the certificates and we want the certificates to make a way for us. That's where the limitation takes place. Because actually, we cannot criticize that education is not good. If we all here, we had to go to school to attain some level of understanding. But now, we have skills that you must acquire. In most cases now, in Cameroon especially, these skills are not all in school. But now you need these skills to be able to do something applicable. Like most people stay unemployable. Why? Because they can't communicate. They lack emotional intelligence. They lack social capital. They cannot relate. I mean, they're like you can't talk with them. They have bad attitude, but they don't understand that. Because why? They think that okay, they have a certificate and they were always the first in class, or maybe they were good in class, and this is what is going to make way for them. Getting a certificate is a basic, but now getting to sit and observe yourself and look around you and be able to be adaptable when need be. Because truth be told, in most cases you see some people, whatever thing they're doing in life and they're successful is not even what they studied in school. The question is, when you start taking the responsibility and okay, I got a certificate, yes, but this is not what defines success. And you start looking at those who are successful in life, and you see that okay, these people are successful because whatever thing we are doing now is not something that had not existed before. Whatever success we are chasing, somebody must have walked that path before. But now, if you want to like close your eyes and maybe hold your certificate and let it make a path for you, it will not work. Now look around you. These people who have made it like this and they went this way, and this is what they have, and I want to go there. What took them there? Was it their certificate? If it is their certificate, then hold your own and it's going to take you there. But if it wasn't your certificate, they ask the right questions. What was it then? And what was it then is usually people who seek problems in the society and they look for solutions for them. I always challenge our educational system by looking at students in the classroom and looking at them learning something that they can't apply in their context, and whatever material they're using in the context of the classroom, they are not even learning how to produce those. In learning in classroom, we use books, pencils, pens, rulers, we wear uniforms and calculators and all of that. Those are things that we consume on a daily basis. But why can't we be taught on how to produce those things? So much so that at least when we graduate, as we are leaving, we start producing them. I mean, it starts generating some revenue for us. But now, since the educational system is mostly in a way that we are dependent, like when you graduate, the next thing is that I can remember 3 of my friends did that in 2012 after the degree. They graduated and then they bought 3 dozens of envelopes each, and they walked from Bonanjo to Bonapriso, Aqua, dropping applications. And only one company called out of courtesy and just to tell them that we saw your application, but we are sorry we don't have a job here. You understand? That's when you come out with that mentality that you hope that there's a savior somewhere, a savior company that is going to pick you. That's where the problem is. But when you have the basics and you understand that okay, this thing I have it now, and I have the like last time we were talking about education being an investment. Okay, my parents have spent some money for me to be able to reach here. What can I do in order to be productive in my society? That's the simple question that differentiates successful people from unsuccessful people, when they are able to ask that question and then seek solution. And the truth is that the problems are always there. The problems are always there, and I think problems are the mother of innovation. And but now, since we're not asking these questions, Chinese are asking the questions and answering for us. That's why we are struggling always, because
Okay.
the guys are feeding us.
Good evening, Mr. Liu and the powerful team. This topic is so sensitive and timely. 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in as part of a recruitment team. Many CVs came in, built like skyscrapers, but unfortunately, the careers were unable to even defend themselves. Too much theory with no practicals is the main problem. I suggest our graduates apply for more internship and volunteerism with financial support from their parents so they can gain experience and desired skills to back up the certificates. Petula B. Mafo Designs, writing from Mabanda Bonaberi, Douala, you are the best. Good evening to you all in the studio, and a special one to Miss L. I really like your point of view concerning the topic from your once upon a time security man, Sinclair, writing from Boya. Sinclair was your security man? I don't know where. Hello, good evening. This is Reverend Father Martin in Yaoundé. One thing we have to know is what is success? What is life? How and who is successful? Thanks. This is the big question. Who is a successful man? Good evening to you in the studio. The system of education in our country is out of date. Those information that were carried out by researchers and documented in their various research centers are still the ones used today by the growing youths. For decree to be valuable, we need to improve on research, train students with new ideas, push them towards creativity in the beginning, now, and so shall it be. This is what makes education useless. Ransom is writing from Boya. Good evening, a special good evening to Miss Lornarica. Thank you for the program. It is very important for young people out there to understand that the level we get going to school is not a requirement to success in life. Though very important, especially when properly oriented skills, identity, just like Miss L said, our environment and self-fulfillment on the programs we take in life will go a long way to determine how successful we become. Mark Jenny is watching from Douala. When you have a degree, it's the starting point for you to explore your potential. My name is Bila, writing from Yaoundé, but I want us to go to look at the most successful guys in the world today. The shakers, the movers of the world. Are they who they are because of the degrees they acquired from somewhere?
The answer is definitely no. They went to school. That's true. They acquired the basic knowledge that was needed, and most of them at one point decided that they had to do something. They had this urge to create something for the world, or just to actually do something extraordinary. If you look at cases like that of Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, they did not even have anticipated that this is how big they were going to go. Mark Zuckerberg and friends just wanted to create something for socialization, and it ended up being Facebook. And Facebook is one of the top 5 valued companies in the world today, and very powerful. Look at Bill Gates with Microsoft. From research, it shows that all these guys are college dropouts, which means that they did not even have a first degree that we're talking about, but they attained a level of education which means they could read and write, they could understand things, they could actually then decide and make choices on what they wanted to become or what they wanted to do. And that's why they realized that their life's calling, or their what they wanted to create, was more important to them than even staying in school. And that's why they left school to concentrate, to make sure that their dreams, their ideas came to actualization. If you go through, you realize, like Warren Buffett, all these people, there's these skills that they actually get, they acquire, they learn over time, they improve upon it, and that's why they are making a difference around the world. Most of these people, about 80% of them, don't have a college degree, but they are definitely making a difference. And the truth is that when you think and bring your ideas to the limelight, you definitely have the capacity at that time to even employ the people who Mark Zuckerberg definitely would employ other engineers, even people with doctorate degrees, bachelor's degrees, and the rest to work for his vision. So that makes a difference. That makes a difference because he actually had some skills, he had some information, he had something that he wanted to do that made him to stand out there. But in most cases, coming back to the African context, you are going to school. If you ask the number of, if you go to school and conduct a survey, you will realize that about 95% of all those in the classroom, they have one direction they are going to. After this, I'm going to have a job. After this, I'm going to do this. That's why majority of the people, the bush fallers, especially in the US, most of them are nurses. I have a lot of classmates that we did the arts here. You see them in a white robe tomorrow. They are nurses. Why is it so? Because what they acquired here, when they went to abroad, they realized that it's not needed there. Because the best historian, who will you be telling stories to? In most cases, when you go there with a master's degree in history, you know what, you are asked to take care of the elderly. Yeah, you sweep streets and the rest. It tells you that, in fact, the original purpose of getting what you wanted to, of getting a certificate, it is not actually you. In fact, it just happened that, okay, you just want to get it because society has asked you to go to school, graduate with a good certificate, and you have good grades. If you look at what Robert Kiyosaki says, he actually makes this very clear, that in most cases, he has a book, why you have the A, for C students, because the A student went to school, they are very intelligent, they are very smart, but all they had was, maybe when you are passing and you are looking at Sonara, I want to work here. They don't think about the fact that, in fact, I need to create my own refinery. We talked about successful people. Look at Dangote. I've not heard much about his certificates and the rest. But at one point, he sat and said, hey, Nigeria cannot be suffering too much from lack of construction material like cement. And that's where in 2006, 2007, the idea of Dangote cement started. And today we even have one here in Douala. You can now imagine, like, these things don't come out because of the certificate that you hold. You need to know where you are going in life, what you need. Definitely is going to help you make a difference.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Leo. Good evening. I'm Nati from Bamenda, A-level on students at the Catholic University of Bamenda. Please, I need an advice and a clarification. Mr. Liu, I did commercials my whole life in secondary school. So as I had my advanced level, I wanted to do marketing because that was my field back then in secondary school. But my mom refused and insisted that I do nursing. So I want to ask if it's good for a mother to insist on a child what to do in the university, because I'm really finding difficulty in the nursing because it's a science field and I have no idea. So what advice can I have from your fellow guests in the studio? Can you just call us using the numbers on the screen? After the program, we are going to talk to you. Thank you for writing, Nati. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to everyone. This is a good topic. One of my mentors once said to be educated is different from being employable. The question we should always ask ourselves is, what can we offer? Kum Leonard, writing from Kumba. And I would also like to say that some of the students don't study what they are passionate of, because it is that passion that gives us the focus and stamina to become employable. Exactly what Nati is complaining about from Bamenda. Good evening, I'm Eukaria, writing from Bamenda. I want to say a university degree is not a must to be successful in life. We can define success as the fulfillment of your purpose in life. The knowledge you get from the university is mostly theoretical, and it doesn't guarantee perfect application on a real life situation and be all successful in it. To me, studying and acquiring a degree is just to improve your reasoning and open your brain, which can help you in other fields where you get satisfaction in your life and purpose. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm called Nibafu Mabu. I'm writing from Buddha. A university degree is good because it exposes you to the world, but Cameroonians don't have the financial background that will make them create jobs to excel. For that reason, they continue studying to keep themselves busy, hoping to be employed in future. That is why we have unemployed people with PhDs. Okay. Good evening. A special evening to Miss L. Thank you for the program. It is very important for young people out there to understand that the level we get going to school is not a requirement to be successful in life, though very important, especially when properly oriented, and how we connect with the program, skills, identity. Just like Miss L said, our environment and self-fulfillment on the programs will take in life will go a long way to determine how successful become. Mark, okay? Miss L, yeah, to be successful, there are theories that we need to understand and implement to be successful. Meanwhile, going to school, maybe, like you said, you went to acquire a degree in accounting on how to do accounting in a company, but becoming a success story has different theories and principles that will need to be applied in our lives to be successful.
Yes, Mr. Leo. Before I go on, I would like to add something to what Mr. Buji said. When he was giving examples of these big guys who have made a lot of money, their popular names and all of that. Now, this guy started going to school because he said something very important. He said, for the basics. We're going to school for the basics. They got the basics. Now, these guys are going to school, but I would like to put it this way. There are two sort of persons that go to school. The ones that are I do schooling and those that are process schooling. Meaning that, like somebody said here, that you go to school because you want to wind time. Like, okay, there's nothing I'm doing, let me just go to school and let the people even see me that I'm busy. Why are you not working? I'm still schooling. You're using that as an excuse to why you're not yet financially free. Now, the schooling is this sort of persons who go to school just because they want to sit in that classroom and have their name.
I'm a student.
Yes, and then they are looking forward to having their degree and getting employed. That's just it. Their life begins after the degree. That's when their life begins. But those who are considering schooling as a process goes with a thinking state. They are always thinking on how to make things better, and that's why most of these people drop out from school. Because they get to think so much that they get out of the box and discover the force of the school cannot accommodate their thoughts, and they step out and start doing other things. And trust me, it's like what I said. Now, I have a friend of mine, I told him when we were in school, he said he wanted to go and be a doctor. I said, how many years? He said, 7 years. I said, blood of Jesus. He said, why? I said, that's 7 years. Let me explain to you. That time, we're not really thinking so much like this. I said, in that 7 years, I'll go to university 3 years, I'll graduate, I'll have 2 years. That 2 years, I'll get a job. By that time, in 2 years, I should be able to work money and have my car. Then by the time you're reaching 7 years, that's 5 years. By the time you're 7 years, I'll be married. I'll even have my first child. The guy was looking at me like, I said, how are you going to school for 7 years? And he went to school, but I don't know what he's doing because now he's not still a doctor. But he went to a doctor, medical school. Till now, I don't know why he's not yet a doctor. Okay, now, looking at success has its principles. And it starts from you. Self-determination. I said here last time that there was one statement that Mr. Adeke used to me some years back, that statement had ring in my head today. He told me that success is predictable. So what you are doing today will tell me if you'll be successful or not. So if you care you mess up, anything you do now, it will tell me how much money you have tomorrow. I can actually be able to forecast how much you have by the things you're doing today. Success is very predictable. It starts from a place of determination. If you are ready to succeed, it's a question that does not involve two persons, it's one person. It goes to you directly. Are you ready to succeed? Yes. Okay. Now, if you're ready to succeed, what is your definition of success? What will you have for you to be bold enough to stand in the public and say, I am successful? You put that down. Once you have these things defined, now the next thing is self-discipline. Because success has something that it does to people. Today I was talking to one of my young girls on phone. She called me, she was complaining something to me, and she told me that for her to do it, she will have to step out of the house without taking permission. She has to sneak out of the house to go and do it. And truth be told, I told her that you should. That's what I said. I said that's what purpose does to people. Because these people don't understand this is what you want to do. They want you to go to school and become a nurse and everything. But you know that's not what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're supposed to do and it's already helping you. I said, my dear, it's okay. This is what you do, eh? Sneak out. Go and do what you have to do. When you come back, they'll shout. If they beat you, just take it as sacrifice for the purpose. And she was like, Auntie Lorna, I said, yes. That's the only advice I can give you. Self-discipline is very important. You have to discipline yourself because on your path to living that successful life, to experience a successful life, there are things you have to give away. Of which so many of us, we want to get success, we want to be successful, but we don't want to be disciplined. In fact, we don't want to discipline ourselves. And then when people want to get into our lives to be able to caution us, we say they are trespassing. As a matter of fact, you can never be completely successful in this life. People don't trespass in your life. The ones who abuse you, the ones who mock you, a mixture of all these people are important for your life to get to that point where it's supposed to be. They are simple things you have to put in place, simple theories. But this particular one I first mentioned is what should be in your head. That your success in this life is predictable. So you who is watching us right now, ask yourself, where are you now? Where am I now? Where are you? What's your position now? Where do you intend to be tomorrow? Then look at the activities you're doing right now, the things you're doing. Is it going to lead you there? If it will not lead you there, then you drop it. If it will not lead you there, you drop it. Because I put on my status a few days ago, I said, most of us are consistent in doing the wrong things. You get into the wrong life, you stay consistent on it. wasting time and energy, and other people are there putting a little energy in the right things and having more results than you is using a lot of energy in doing the wrong things. So there are theories, there are principles, but now this one I mentioned of things like discipline. They are general principles. These are things that generally we always say that you have to be determined, you have to work hard, you have to work smart, you have to know how to communicate, because that's one thing that is killing people now. Like the young lady who wrote saying that her mom said she should do nursing instead of marketing.
Maybe the mom wants to send her to America.
It's possible, but now I say that it's possible to have your way with everybody on earth, because I've gotten to understand the importance and the power of communication, of right communication. There is a way you communicate, not just with your words, but just with your actions. And you'll be able to get people who are successful coming your way. For you to go and be wasting your time that you want to get the degree and all the like. Now, most of these people who are going in for degrees, their mindset is different. It's like how I tell people every day, I say, I've never believed that there's anything like full-time student. You go to school 24 hours, like, you're not doing any extra job. How do you cope? Because even if your parents have money, I don't know how you do that. There's nothing, first of all, like a full-time job. You're not preparing your mind for anything. What your full-time school, rather, what you're preparing your mind for is that I'll get a degree and get a job. Ask yourself, the people who have had the degree, I think Mr. Paul made mention of something like that, using different words. The people who have had the degree, what are they doing? Ask now where they are. Is that where you want to be? Find out for those who are where you are intending to be. Then ask yourself, is it a degree that took them to that place? If it's not a degree, but they carry your back and shift. You start working. You cannot be wasting time for nothing. You go and waste time in the university reading things that will not help you in any way. This life that we're living now, like this, is not degree that responds to expenses.
Okay.
It's money.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. For me, a vocational certificate is more important in your journey of success rather than a university degree. But a university degree is good because it gives you an upper hand in your future career. I love the program and greetings once more. It's Tasha writing from Yaoundé. Good evening. A country growth depends on technical education. Cameroon, we mostly have but grammar schools. Okay. Yes. Good evening to you guys. I'm Jean from Kumba. I really love your program. May God continue to bless you people. Thank you, Jean. A very educative topic. I have asked a couple of friends this question time and again. What will you be doing with your degree in geography? Their response remain, I will know what to do once I get there. Some of these students only go to the universities because their friends are there. Lillian is writing from Kumba. Mr. Carlson, are you there? Carlson is laughing. Okay, Carlson, my question to you is, if you have a degree and you are home for 5 years, 6 years, and you cannot solve any problem in your family, in your community, and you depend on your family, and then can we say that you are successful? Can we say someone who has a first degree and is at home for 5 years, others with master's degree are at home for 7 years, and others, and just because they have these degrees, can we say they are successful? At least they have succeeded in going through our system of education? Someone who has a first degree and is at home. Someone who has a first degree and is at home for 5 years. At least they have succeeded in at least they are
no. Obviously, as you said earlier, it's not about it. No. Obviously, about what you can do. As you said about a very good coverage of those about such as you but now we need to understand that a very good education system of the world is designed so that it recognizes the better people. We need to recognize that the education system of the world doesn't it's just less than over 90% of who are going to engage into things that create jobs. Now that is very
We have issues with your sound. I'll ask this question to you, Mr. Buji, what I asked earlier on, that you have a degree and you are at home for years, but people move around and say, "Na degree holder that boy get degree in maths, that guy get master's degree in this and that and that." You are home. Can that be equated to
Mr. Leo, I remember when I grew up, when I was growing, there was one person in the village that they always say, "Not this man has the first degree." So in that environment, I used to look at this man is surely a successful person. And because he went to the university, we don't even know whether he had the certificate or not. But it's like everybody looked up to him like this man is a successful person. Do you know why it happened like that? Because in the days of Ahijo, it was very easy for you to, most people who even went to school ended up having jobs, they drove fat cars and the rest. But the times have changed now that after you must have had your degree, you need to go back in the streets. And I have a motivational speaker, a coach who says, if you will want to be successful in this country, when you graduate, keep your certificate and hustle like a dropout. That's the only way you're going to find success. Coming back to your question, if you are at home for 5 years, 5 years is too much. 1 year and you don't have a job with a degree in your hand. Think about it. Why are you not having something to do? Why is that degree not putting food on your table? Which means that the basics, that degree cannot help you. And if you realize that your degree cannot help you, you need to do something. And I always say, if you realize that your degree cannot help you, your certificates cannot help you, what do you need to do? You need a skill, or you need skills that are definitely going to help you navigate, and you learn something to put food on your table. You cannot eat certificates. If you want to know the word of your certificate, my friend Mr. Paul, the banker, as we call him, if you take it to the bank that you want to get a loan and you put it as collateral, that's when you will understand that it's valueless. It's valueless at that moment. So you need to acquire a set of skills, and they are everywhere. You have soft skills, you have hard skills, things that can definitely make you stand out. And the truth is that when you start getting these skills, you might start somewhere just as an administrative assistant and you will go places. There are many successful people who have built through that way. But one of the problems with degree holders is that they don't want to start small. They want something that equates their so-called certificate, while they cannot actually even defend the certificate with the equivalent job that they are giving. Certificates might help you have a job, but you need the skills to be able to sustain that job.
Okay, you need skills to be able to sustain the job. How do you make your degree work for you, so that you are actually counted as one of the successful brothers and sisters who graduated from the University of Chang, University of Marwa, or University of Boya?
To be the basis for success, Mr. Leo. If we take it from that angle, it will really be a problem. I want us to shift from the classroom education and move a bit somehow to informal education, and move maybe to the biggest university in the world, University YouTube, University Google, where we have knowledge that is so available for us to be able to keep our minds updated. Because if we are to stick on the certificates that are going to make us successful, it will mean that the knowledge that I'm using here today should be the knowledge that I acquired in the classroom when I got a degree in 2012. If I was supposed to stay there, it means that back then the Android phone wasn't common as it is today. It would be difficult for me to use the Android phone. If I was to say, no, my certificate is that which is going to give me a job, it means that, okay, I will say I cannot talk on TV, I cannot talk in front of a microphone. Why? Because it should be Mr. Leo talking, because he studied journalism. I just wonder we should keep the certificates aside. It's okay to get knowledge, okay to get a certificate, yes. But for it to be like putting it on a scale and putting success on the other side, That's total incomparable. Why? Because we studies in the classroom have a time limit, but live lessons and live application of lessons and practicals is limitless. That's why you see these people that we are mentioning that are successful are lifelong learners. That's because they understand that as time is evolving, seasons are changing, taste is changing, fashion is changing, you know, people's desires are changing. They have to keep growing, and it's rather unfortunate we are living in a time when technology is very fast, meaning that if the moment you just stop learning, you get outdated in the shortest while. That's why even last week I wasn't here. Why? Because I was in 2 days training in Boya. I went and sat and I learned, and I must assure you that I learned a lot. Why? Because I understood that I needed to go somewhere, I needed to do something, and I was limited. And my mentor Galazija once said, "Guy, there's a 2-day seminar in Boya. You go stay there and you learn from 8 to 5." And I had to do that. Why? Because that knowledge is going to lead to open some doors for me. If I was to keep saying that, I studied accounting from one to university, so this accounting is the only thing that's going to open doors for me, it means that I'll get limited somewhere. It means that I'll not be able to use Facebook, I'll not be able to create content. Why? Because I wasn't taught content creation. Get the certificate, it's important. Taking the certificate to be the sole provider of whatsoever success means to you, that is a wrong approach. Ask relevant questions. Continuous learning is the key. There's no way. Check every successful person in the world that you think that is successful according to your parameters. These people keep learning. It's rather unfortunate that we just learn for learning's sake. It's surprising in Cameroon you see somebody who is an agri technician who doesn't have what we call a garden beside the house, who is practicing what he's learning in school. You have people who are studying chemistry. They don't know how to mix water and whatsoever to be able to produce something. What happens at the end of the day is not what the public is jeering you about for being a successful. I mean, there are so many successful people in basics of certificates nowadays. It's not like back in the days when a few people would just go to school. No, so many people have gone to school, and we have a lot of them on the streets. But your ability to manifest what you have learned in order to create value in the society and solve problems is what we are focusing on. So if you have a certificate and you're not working, it's because you have not been able to manifest. One thing we should understand is that it is not a certificate that equips us in life. Certificates or classroom or whatever form of learning is just an enlightenment to open your mind to the world. What I believe in is that every one of us was created with something in us that we have to bring to the world like a contribution. Because people tend to think that it's because you went to school and the school equips you and you now have to manifest. The school is just an enhancer that opens your mind so much so that you can be able to manifest, be able to harness your skills and whatsoever, to be able to bundle them and deliver them in the society in the right way. But if you are just like, okay, I am empty now, I have a certificate, this certificate is going to, no, you're not going to use this certificate like some kind of canoe and put it in water and then without sailing and then it carries you. No.
Okay. Hi there, it's Shanghai from Limbe, A-level student. I wish to be a creator of things in Cameroon, but the government will not push me up. Instead, put me down with bills and taxes. Okay, Shanghai, just call us. We'll tell you that maybe some of the things you believe in are wrong. You can never really say you are successful till your life has come to an end. Life is dynamic. Okay. This one says, to me, is the educational system. The system of education in Cameroon is based mostly on theory than practicals, and that is why most people are frustrated in life. It's Jean writing from Kumba. Miss L, is this not also a call for persons you may not have gone to school, but you have what it takes, you have ideas, and you can gather people to bring your idea to fruition. So nobody should intimidate you in the quarter that I'm a master's degree holder, I'm a first degree holder. What matters is what you have upstairs.
That's right. My call to everybody is that they should break the ice. Because when you break the ice, that's when it can easily dissolve. When it dissolves, water and ice block is different. Ice block is just on one spot. But when you break the ice into pieces, it can easily dissolve and the water begins to spread abroad. My advice to us is break the ice. All right. Don't be intimidated by people who said they went to school. They have all the big certificates and all the big degrees and all of that. Don't be intimidated by that. It's more about what you have upstairs. People want to get what you have in your head. They want to know what you can put in. It's not about what you it's not just about what you've learned. It's about how productive what you learn has been in your life, how it has been able to create impact for you in your community, how it has been able to influence people. If what you have learned so far is not creating impact, then that's garbage information. That's what you have to discard from your memory. It has no place, it has no sitting. Get to acquire skills that can help you. I think that's one of the reasons why when we sat down in Shep Academy, we had to look at bringing in vocational skills. Now, these skills that you just get in 1 month and get yourself busy, not getting employed per se, but get yourself busy and start converting the information you have to products and services. But now, to you who has gone to school already, we're not saying that it's too late, because there are people who already have the certificates. There are someone in school right now, and we're not telling you to go tomorrow and tell your mom, I'm no longer going to school, I've dropped school. So I watch on TV, they're saying that certificate is not important, I'm quitting school today. That's not what we're saying. But now what we're saying is that you have to get practical with life. Get a skill. It's what can easily put food on your table. There is nothing. I learned this from Mr. Teke. Mr. Teke says that big grandma does not give money. One time he said that, I kept in my head, to the extent where I started applying it. Most of my friends from secondary school, they know, oh, I always love to speak English. My mom, if you speak pidgin, you are finished. So I've always been used to speaking English and all of that. You always have to form your sentences and all of that. But now, for the past how many months, sometimes they'll be like, Mr. Why are you talking like, why are you just, I say, that grammar, if I speak, they will not give me money. The customer will not understand. I have to speak simple English, so they will pay me for my service and I leave. That is it. All the big book we have, if it's not converted, if you're unable to convert it to money. I think one time when we had a program at Mountain Hotel, was it Mountain Hotel? We invited the registrar at the University of Boya. He said something. He said he is a registrar, but he says that he used an example. You know, he's a very practical man. He said, but when I look at Teke Samuel, he's a small boy. The money that guy has, I don't have that type of money, but I'm the registrar of the University of Boya. That's what he said openly. He said, but he is the registrar. Meaning that he also understands, and he's always fond of saying that Cameroon has a lot of resources, that people are waiting to have certificates before they go and exploit. But that's not what we need. That is not what we need. So of course, if you're having your certificate or you're doing your programs and everything, know that there is more to it for you to get that successful life you desire. There is more to it. It's not just about getting the certificate and sitting there, no. But making up your mind to just have that and let it not have a place in your life. Let your success not be totally dependent on the certificate. That's what I was saying. It has its role it will play, of course. But now I will tell you that the certificate can get you the job, but it's not a certificate that keeps you on the job.
Okay.
It does not keep you on the job.
I'm sure next week we are going to be looking at how to attract and maximize opportunities.
Of course.
That's what is also lacking.
Yes.
Yeah,
true.
You see, you use your mouth to chase destiny helpers away. Okay. Hello, from Amanda. I'm advanced level student. To my own perspective, education is important. It is only people who don't understand the importance of education that may dwell much on practical fields. I'm not rebuking anybody or people, but I think if practicals and professional skills is necessary, so too is general education thoughts. However, we must not have a university degree. Going to school is not necessarily because of money, but education lights the way. Thanks. Okay, thank you too for participating. Hello in the studio, great lesson from you guys here. To the youths, I am an unemployed graduate in Boya. I need guidance, please. Can you just call us using the numbers under your screen? Good evening, everyone. I am Stephanie from Boya. The degree is not a must to success. What can bring you success is what you can do or what you have to offer and not the certificates. Thank you for your programs. They are life transforming and a guide to success. Thank you, Stephanie. Maclord writing from Douala says, good evening, Mr. Liu. It depends. A coin has two sides. A degree is important, but what we need more is soft skills, because skills are what will make you great, not the degree. Just my own point of view. Son of man in Douala. Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone in the studio. It's Fomba Timothy from Bamenda. I love your program, Mr. Liu. If there was a means to sell all the certificates I achieved in school, I could have long done it. Help me tell Mr. Teke to always respond to our worries on the numbers they have provided for us, okay? Oh, I hope you guys are responding, eh? Hello, Mr. Liu. We need to be defending our degree. That's why an electric engineer will travel out of Cameroon and become a house boy, okay? Good evening, says education day where is being presented to Cameroonians is very wrong. It's make many of them become very lazy and not productive anywhere. Kimbe Maxwell is writing from Bonaberry in Douala. This one from Anita Eno Takang. It says having a degree is one thing and the curriculum in that degree is another. There are empty degrees out there. At the end of every chapter in a degree course, there should be a business idea to the topic on that chapter. Okay? USA curriculum. We will bring America to Cameroon soon. I don't think a university degree is the only way of success in life, especially in Cameroon. Swakish Junkies from Kumba Barombi. Good evening to you, Swakish Junkies. This one says, as A's in Cameroon are not A's in life, a university degree for those who are opportune is to broaden your horizon and not a guarantee to be successful, especially in the job market. A perfect writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu. A university degree is not a must to be successful in life, because today it's the skills which are needed, and these are gone when people clap for you as a degree holder. My name is Azipo, writing from Douala. Yes, those days are gone. Now, Mr. Buji, many persons have gone to the university. They have been there for 3, 4, 5 years, and they are jobless, and not because they don't want to work, but because their degrees cannot meet specific needs in our society. They have been trained for things that are not needed. Is it too late? Must they sit at home till thy kingdom come for that opportunity in that field to come? Or they should go back to the drawing board and see if they can do something else?
Mr. Leo, what an important question. I was doing some studies and I realized that a certificate or a degree is actually really valuable within the first 5 years when you acquire it. If you do nothing, if you don't acquire anything new, after that 5 years, you are definitely, you will not, your value drops by about 50 to 60%, which means that if you graduated as a computer engineer 5 years ago and you don't acquire new skills and you don't keep learning, today you cannot fit into the tech world any longer, because new applications are coming up. You realize how mobile phones started. When the phone started with they just ran on a normal, very minimal software. We went to Java phones. You have Android. Now you have the Android systems were upgrading, and so engineers were upgrading, developers were upgrading. If you were amongst them and you did not upgrade, the only thing will be that you will be out of business, you'll be out of your job, because technology, new information, new things are always coming up. And one of the reasons why people end up being redundant, they are laid off, they lost their jobs, is because they hold so dear to the job without thinking about what can maintain that job, which means the innovation that they bring to their enterprises. Any person who is employing you looks at what you can bring to the table, and in most cases, employers love employees that are multi-talented, employees that can actually do more than just one thing, people that can even participate in the decision-making process. There are times that you will bring, maybe your boss brings something, and now you say, no, this is the new way of doing things this way. And when they are learning from you the new way of doing things, there is no way you would easily lose that job. Even when they say, hey, let's fire this guy, I say, no, we cannot fire this one, because he brings a lot of value to the marketplace. He brings a lot of value to this organization. So if you are having a degree, make sure that you still learn in that process. It's not about having an additional certification. No, it's about having something, knowing something that makes you stand out in that particular field. If you want to make a difference, you definitely have to acquire knowledge that will make you stand out, that will distinguish you from another person in the same line of business or job that you are in.
Okay, so it's never too late to go to school, but have we seen many persons misled, taken out of their destinies, talked out of their destinies because they were made to understand that the only way to succeed is to get a university degree?
What we do today, or most of the things that we do is out of maybe peer pressure or by societal norms. Yes, like me, I would say I had to do accounting because somebody told my mom that, hey guy, go do accounting because you're going to get a job so fast. Accountants are always quickly recruited and you're going to earn a fast salary there. We really lack those mechanisms where people can, where there can be some basic measurement to see where this person is maybe tilted to, that they can push you to that direction. I mean, orientation and counseling and stuff like that. I think we have discussed about that on this platform in the past. These things have diverted a lot of people. People go into things that they go to things and later in their life they go to jobs that they don't like. I mean, they get up in the morning, they're angry, they go to the office, they're angry, they can't serve clients well. Why? Because they're angry, because they're not comfortable carrying out that job. That's why I always encourage us not to pressurize our peers when we see them doing something in what we call in an exaggerated manner. I take, for instance, my case, when I used to talk a lot, and nobody would tell me, hey guy, you can be a good marketer, a good public speaker, a journalist. What would they say? They say, guy, you talk like a woman. That demoralized me so badly. So, but unfortunately for me, in Lower Seed, we had these things that we call moral education, where pastors were coming to preach, and the Pastor Ngala, I still remember his name so well. He preached something in that direction. Like, don't let's not talk our mates down. Let's not talk our peers down. Whatever thing they are doing in exaggeration, it means that they have something in them that they can use and be able to manifest that and be something better in the society. You understand? So many people are into certain things that they don't feel comfortable with, because we don't ask relevant questions. We're always feeding in forms that have already been pre-established. Like, okay, it's a one hard fit, or this is after this level, this person is this person, the lone person that is successful in this community is a banker. So every child in this community now must study banking. The lone person that is successful in your family is this, so everybody needs to study this. That's not always the case. People have different orientation, and that's what makes life very interesting. Because you have this, you have that, and then because if all of us were to be tailors, it means that everybody will be able to sew a dress, and nobody is going to buy from the other. But now I need to be a tailor for you to be a cook, so that when I sew dresses, I sell to you, you make your food and you sell to me, and the economy turns around. That's why parents have a huge duty vis-a-vis teachers. You don't force your children to feed in. Like a child just sent a message there, I wanted to be a marketer, but my mother is pushing me to be a nurse. We shouldn't force our kids to feed in, because at one point in time you have a doctor in the hospital where patients are dying in his hands. Why? Because he doesn't have that passion. There are doctors that when you enter, all they frown, you know, I mean, the outlook on their face, you can't even, in fact, it increases your sickness. And there are others that once you enter there, before they give you an injection, you're totally well, because just the way they are going to welcome you and smile, because they feel so comfortable doing that. They maybe they actually choose that way, force somebody into doing something. It becomes a disaster.
Okay. Greetings, sir. Having a certificate is just a proof you can read and write, but professional skills is what keeps you going. Please, sir, I have a degree, but no skills. Elvis is writing from Bomenda. Elvis, it's never too late. Go back and learn something else. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The truth is the world now is looking for what you can do, not your degree. You can have all the degrees in the world, but it will not put food on your table. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Great topic of discussion. Success is a game of opportunities and the ability to adapt to changing times. Adaptation is the best qualification. Good evening. Good evening to you all. I'm Umaru Yauba from Doing a degree isn't a guarantee you get a job. Having a degree is a wonderful thing. It makes you mentally and emotionally capable in choosing more lucrative activities. A degree holder in economics or accounting must not become a banker, or degree in chemistry makes one astrochemist. In the process of acquiring the degree, we learn many things, especially in the university milieu. Please, there in the studio, don't discourage students from obtaining a degree, as many are doing around the quarters who obtain poor GPA and want to compare with hardworking students with excellent GPAs. Okay. Hello in the studio. Great lesson from you guys there to the youths. I am an unemployed graduate in Boya. I need guidance. Please call the numbers on your screen, please. Good evening, Mr. Liu. To me, a university degree in Cameroon is just to have knowledge, not a successful life. Can a typical degree holder in Cameroon solve a societal issue? Miss Ed.
Mr. Paul was talking.
I'm not asking to Mr. Paul, it's to you.
Okay. Okay, I get a question. Can a typical university graduate solve a societal problem?
Community problem. There's a problem in their quarter. They rush to him that, oh, this our sister is a graduate from this school.
Mr. Leo, you cannot solve a problem you are not informed about. They're in school getting information concerning the choosing field that they are in, and most of the times, most of these our system of education, the curriculum first of all has its own problems. Most of these things that they want to that they're even studying this field, these things they are studying in school, most of them don't apply to the community problems we have. How many programs do we have in the universities and professional institutions that match up with the sustainable development goals? That was sure that we can take it, come and apply, and it's going to solve a problem as prescribed by the UN that is going to help the world. It does not even, there's no way. There is no way. A few of them who have been able to step out and get into community-based problems, go and check. It has nothing to do with what they are studying. It's just the few that I said are in school, but are considering school as a process. So they decide to be thinking while learning, so they can be able to open their mind's eyes to be able to see beyond what they are getting from the school milieu. So we cannot say a typical student, a typical graduate, typical university degree student will solve a societal problem if they have not been able to allow themselves to see beyond what they are studying. So we're saying that they can have the degree and be able to solve a societal problem, but it's dependent on the fact that they are informed about the problem. But now, university degree, the university system has a way of making you comfortable. You will not even have time to start thinking of looking at a certain problem when you have how do they call it, exams, courses. You have, yes, you have your GPA to defend and your project to write and all the like. Most of the times, see, university even try to even make people to understand that, okay, you need to get more information. The system is actually built that way. To get, they actually create room in level 400 for you to get extra information by introducing project writing. But the amazing thing is that even the project, students are not one who write the same project. They pay people to write their projects, so you cannot even get information. I keep telling people, I said, my eye opening and everything came in when I did my project in university. My project was the role of women emancipation in the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises. In the course of getting my research, I single-handedly did my project. And thank God I even passed very well. I did my project alone, and I got so much information about how the women could play an effective role to help the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon. And from there, my eyes became open. I was so determined to actually step out. But now, even this small exercise that the universities have put in place for us to get into project writing and help us open our minds, students themselves are not even doing it, so they cannot even solve societal problems. So if you are a university student or you have a degree already and you want to get into solving community problems, the truth is that you discover that what you study has nothing to do with community problems. What is accounting doing in community problems? Community problems go further than that. It's more about information of what is happening in your environment.
Because in the lessons that are being taught, most of the examples are taken from out of our communities.
Of course, that's one of the problems. Thank you. Fishing in Norway, Mr. Buji. It's a problem right from a primary school. There's something that our literature teacher said one time when I was in secondary school. He said that our system of education has already amplified the whites in our minds, on our mindsets before we want to even get there. We already know that they are superiors. So all our stories.
We read Charlotte Bronte.
Okay. Yeah, really older.
William Shakespeare.
We learned all the poems and all the like. It's of recent that, yes, it's of recent that we're even having some Cameroon novels coming in. It's of recent that we have Cameroon novels coming in into literature. So it was already programmed that way. We've already amplified the whites. We bring in their stories. We learn about them. You grow up, of course, the problem you want to solve, you are trying to solve a problem that you're informed about. And what problem are you informed about? You're informed about the Western problems now, not the ones in Cameroon. So there is no way that you can even be thinking of solving the one in Cameroon. Why would you be thinking of doing anthropology and sociology, anthropology, and yes? Why would we be thinking of doing that? Because we don't have that in Cameroon. You have studied it somewhere, and it's applicable in the country you learned it. You learned about it in. It's applicable there, not in Cameroon. Most of the things we want to do is not functioning in this Cameroon, but that's what we want to do. So there's no way you can solve a problem you're not informed of. You're not informed about. You're not in that circle. There is absolutely no way. That's the truth. Okay. You can't solve a problem you don't know nothing about.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. Please, I have a question. What is the difference between academic education and professional education in the job market? It's Beneza writing from Buddha. Good evening to you. Beneza. Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is Ndikum Karin from Bonaberi. I think university degree is not a must to be successful in life, but a stepping stone to develop new ideas and be diversified in their manner of thinking. People with degrees tend to ignore some certain jobs, forgetting that it's from these jobs that you can reach to where you dream. Okay. Hello, Mr. Liu. I discovered something in a call normal technique. Student carries their project to technicians in town to build, and they come and defend it. It is shocking. Okay, exactly what Ms. L is talking about. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your program is very interesting. I admire the way young guys like you in the studio are helping to impact the community. I mean, you all out there are nation builders. Keep up. Education gives you knowledge, and knowledge gives you wisdom, and wisdom makes you a problem solver. Kudos. Caleb is writing from Bomenda. Good evening to all in the studio. Degree in Cameroon seems more like a nightmare, as most of our examples are taken from afar. We are thought of fishing in Norway and many other examples. So does that mean Cameroon waters have nothing to offer about fishing industry? Jarvis is writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu. My point of view is having a degree will not put food on your table or make you great, but what we need to succeed are skills and the courage to act in them. Many people today have skills but lack the courage to put it into actions. Rather, they follow salaries and remain on unrealistic goals. Mr. Efficients from the United Arab Emirates. Good evening, sir. I think success is not all about certificates, but it's all about the value you add to your community, city, or country. Youth should stop blaming the government and start adding value to themselves. Yes, but it's not where the problem is with degrees. You have been sent to the university. You have been given skills. You have been given the knowledge to go out there and make the difference. But we get these skills, we get the knowledge, go back to our parents, hoping that one morning, one fine morning, maybe MTN or Orange, one big company, maybe CNN will call you that, oh, almighty degree holder, we have a very good opportunity for you here. Can you come and
Mr.
That's not where the problem is.
That's where the big problem even starts from. Because even at the end of the day, you know, they will still say, okay, we need at least a first degree holder. Now, that's the first requirement. You've passed that stage. The second thing is 2, 3, 4, 5 years working experience. You carry your hands on your head at that time, because that one, it automatically eliminates you. Why? Because they raise their shoulders. I'm a degree holder. You cannot save. You cannot be an administrative assistant. You cannot even go to an organization. If you did accounting, you cannot even go somewhere to even be assisting. Even starting at Express Union could still be a good opportunity. At a credit union could be a good opportunity for you. But you feel so big, you cannot condense to that level. But you know what they look at? I want to be the manager of this credit union. That's where most of the degree holders want to shoot at. But you cannot go that way. If you want to go far, you definitely have to take the walk. You need to take the long walk. I was watching something on social media and I laughed so much that people want to just get to the top very fast anyhow. They don't go far in life. Now the person was saying that if you look at a plane, when it wants to take off, it runs like a car. Like it says, it takes that long walk before it's able to go. And it says an helicopter just leaves and goes up, and that's why the guy doesn't go far. So if you want to go far in life, you need to, in fact, humble yourself, start from somewhere, save somewhere. I'm not sure there is a student who may want to become a journalist. There is no opportunity, maybe there is no job vacancy, and then you just decided, okay, let me save, let me even see how they compile the news letters, let me see how they cover an event. Most of them will not do that, but they just want to get up one day and they come and sit and maybe broadcast. It is not possible. So if you will want to make a difference, try to save at least, be on the field, participate in activities, make sure that at least what you have learned, try to implement it. It's only when you are in the job that you actually see that it's almost look like the difference between what you were taught. You were taught a different thing and you are seeing a different thing. But you need somebody who has an experience to tell you that, hey, this is how we do it, this is how we do it. Because in most cases, there are some of these teachers that they actually teach theory. They have no hands-on practical. We remember the last time we talked about guidance and counseling, where a student is complaining that they did not do their entrepreneurship classes did not go well because their entrepreneurship teacher was applying for jobs. You start looking at situations like that and see, where are we heading to? So it's high time we actually redefine the purpose of getting certificates. We redefine what success means to us at individual levels, and how will your degree impact your society. Good thing is, if your degree can impact your society, it's very easy for you to be successful, because you cannot create impact without it reflecting back on your standards.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to the team, the studio coach Buji, lovely Miss L, and Mr. Paul. Una place day. I'm missing you guys and love the caption for today. More grace to you guys, Mr. Musima Martin, writing from Boya. Good evening to you.
Mr. Martin, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I like the gentleman and lady on set. They are so inspiring to me. Creativity is what makes one successful in life. To be creative is not by having a degree, Most social disorder in our society today is caused by some degree holders who seem frustrated because of wrong orientation. For few degree holders are, however, successful because of their ability to be creative. Majority of our degree holders are very lazy because they are always wanting to start from the top because of self-pride. Julius, writing from Yaoundé. Yeah, that's what you want to start from the top. We must have this spirit of volunteering. Huh? It's a nice topic. In the first place, it depends on how one defines success. The definition of success doesn't carry educational limits, so any certificate can make you succeed if only you apply well in your field. Doju, writing from Bonaberry. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I support the Cameroon system of education. The problem lies with the students who lack the system and not wanting to be collusive with the actual methods. We do not have to blame our system of education. The problem lies with the students. Writing from Bamenda. Yes, these students we have all it takes now. You went to the same schools that others have gone to.
Yes.
L also.
Yes.
I teach. I studied in Cameroon.
Yes.
I've never entered.
Yes.
You also studied in Cameroon now. But you just came back from Malabo.
Yes.
We all went to school in Cameroon.
Yes. I think what makes the difference is the will to serve, eh? Just like Mr. Buji Riley said, the will to serve. Let me take for instance, if I'm here today talking, Mr. Teke did not ask me if I had a certificate or not. I'm sure about that. That question wasn't asked. I was serving somewhere. I was volunteering with Mr. Njisong at GoMat events, you know, because I also learned from another person, Javni Joyber, that when you go for an event, don't sit, don't play the guest, but play the host. So I was actually practicalizing what I learned. And in the course of me, you know, contributing to GoMat, one day they said, okay, we should come on TV and talk about GoMat 6. I think from there now, that was the first time, or maybe that was the second time I was going on air. And then from that contribution, and Mr. Teke was a speaker at that event, I think maybe through that he observed and see that, okay, I can take this guy to be like my brand ambassador vis-a-vis my human capital development project, which is Audacity of Success. And someday I was just called on phone, hey guy, we need to go on TV because I see that. And that was it. The thing is not that you have acquired a certificate, but your ability to start serving. If you have acquired a certificate and you actually see a problem in your society, it means that you are the person that was called to solve that problem. Don't see the problem and you sit and start complaining. You're complaining that who is going to solve the problem for you? Nobody. That's why you see all of us sitting here. Behind the scenes, we are radical workers. We work 24/7, sometimes sleep far from us. Why? Because what we are saying here is not rocket science. It's not something that we have pictured in the air and then we're coming to say, yeah, no. We have projects on ground that we are running them. You know of Text Global and what is done and the various opportunities and financial leverage that they are providing for Cameroonians. You know about Chef Academy and how much they are enlightening Cameroonians' minds. You know about the project, how we made it in Africa, how we do, because we have actually identified these problems and we are solving them, and we have now the responsibility to inspire Cameroonians to actually take the same path, because we have complained for so long. Have the will to serve. And there's no when somebody is idling in Cameroon, it's funny, because sometimes I remember I was working with Buji the last time and we were like, this guy they argue the football, so why gonna take their time at our own so that we use them, because we were feeling exhausted and time was limited. But we saw people who stand at the Carrefours and they were using the same time that we are lacking to discuss. There's no way you can be idling in Cameroon where there are so many problems.
Good evening. I love this program, but we should also know that just to have volunteer service in Cameroon, it's not an easy task. I've applied for 5 companies to no avail, and I'm still looking forward to apply to more companies. I will be graduating this December with logistics and transport management. Please don't go just for the big companies here. Look for somewhere. There must be somewhere that you can volunteer. They're everywhere. Don't just say, I want to go and volunteer with maybe Kojeni or Foku and those big. Look for some Start small. Good evening, Mr. Leo, Mr. Zinwi, Mr. Buji, and Miss L. It's still very strange seeing so many youths at home, jobless just because they insist to work with the certificate obtained. I think being creative, smart, getting new skills, and having a sense of determination and focus much better than just depending on a piece of paper for survival. I'm Irene Zuma following up here at Bipanda Douala. Good evening to you. Irene, thank you for watching and participating. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and to you all at the panel. Great topic you put up. I'm blessed. Please, to start with, success has many interpretations. It's a topic we can just elaborate, looking at it in one aspect, money. To start with, we have French educational system, which is based on memorization, and it deprives us from knowing the true meaning of education. Okay, I don't know what literature is all about there. So I don't know whether it's French or English system. Good evening, Mr. Leo. It's Desmond. I love your program. Thank you, Desmond. It's Harris from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and thanks for the educative program. Thank you, Harris. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Jean from Kumba. I'm a holder of agriculture engaged in tomatoes production in Kumba. My greatest goal is to have my own estate in order to carry out many projects. That's great. Courage to you. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please let us not discourage higher education and the purpose of acquiring first degree of greater. I don't think that carpenters and mechanics will fill the shoes of doctors and lawyers. That's not what we are saying, please. When you go to school to study law, be productive now. You go to school to study medicine, be productive. That's all we are saying. Don't acquire the certificate and waste at home. Hello, I'm just coming now. Okay, welcome. Good evening, sir. But now we don't have the chance to show how able we are. I'm Billy Bright, killer. Okay, can you just call us Billy Bright and we may showcase what you can do. Good evening, sir. Please, can I have the lady's number for directives in my studies? Okay. Miss L, can I give you a number? Okay. This one says, good evening, Mr. Leo. Is P.S. James from Tico. I love the program. I'm sorry to say that 90% of the programs in the university is not too useful. What I'm doing now has no link to what I studied in the university. God help us. Business sustains me. Okay. Miss L, is there a program coming up tomorrow?
Not tomorrow, per se, but we are still planning and working on the event on the 28th of October, entrepreneurship and spirituality. A lot of people are excited. We have people coming in and all of that. And it's going to be a program like no other, because all our programs we've had before now, away from Money Mastery we had once organized, it has been an open program where people come in their numbers and they are full everywhere, they are tight and all of that. This program is completely different. You sit on your seat alone, you're taking down your notes and everything. It's a purely executive program. And I told some people that if your mind is not ready for wealth, this program is not for you. This program is for people whose minds are open and ready to make wealth.
And spirituality.
Entrepreneurship and spirituality. I think the flyer is there. Maybe they could put up the flyer.
Ella is not there. If Ella was
okay.
Entrepreneur and spirituality. Would there be prophecy? Would they
Not
prophesy
so.
to my life?
Not so. It takes a lot of people have been asking questions about Mr. Teke, Mr. Teke's fame and success and everything. There is the spirit of an entrepreneur. There is that spirit that an entrepreneur should carry. And so it has to be closed doors, because he says that he'll be breaking down some deep truths about the things that he has been able to put in place to get to where he is right now.
He's himself. In
Yes.
presence. Okay.
Yeah, so we're encouraging everybody to register for this program. People were expecting to have discounts. It's not like that's so successful. It's not like Billionaire Mindset. This one, the reason why it's that amount is because we want that you should decide to sacrifice, that you want to attend this program, you want to be
So
there.
much?
25,000, and we said 30 slots.
Just 25,000.
And it's almost full already.
It's just
So-
25,000. We have many persons who say we cannot succeed. They spend 50,000 in snacks now.
Of course.
Just get down to Bonamusa there.
Yes.
Guys will just spend 100,000.
The thing is that you spend money on what you have interest in. Yes, and I think getting to programs like this is not money spending. Compared to what events I've done in my life, I'll pay any money to learn from people like this. And mind you, everything is grounded on spirituality. What manifests in the physical has already occurred in the spiritual. So it's a timely program.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I feel bad anytime I miss Prime R. Good job. Mr. Liu, the degree is important, but it's not a guarantee to succeed in life. It will only orient you. Learn a skill, look around you, and try to identify a problem you can solve that will bring you money. Learn from those who have succeeded in life. Kalish Choka, yes, I know you are saying what you are doing out there in Yaoundé. Mr. Buji, thank you for coming.
Just to say, I've worked in over 10 different organizations, but nobody ever asked me, bring your certificate so that I will give you this. It's who I became, what I learned that distinguished me. And then I will be inviting televiewers, everybody who has been following us. In fact, this is all thanks to Tex Global that we are here. And Tex Global will be celebrating her 5th anniversary on the 20th of November in Mountain Hotel in Boya, and a ticket is just 5,000 francs. We're inviting everybody, either investors or non-investors. You should come and see how we celebrate it, and also to know that Tex Global has a song. Maybe we'll dance it that day.
Okay, we want to thank you to Mr. Paul for coming.
Thank you so much. Those who contributed, it's our responsibility to build this country. Let's stop complaining. Let's have the certificates. It's important, but keep them aside and hustle like a dropout.
Thank you to the production team. Thank you to Mr. Tabi Tambe Bryant for supervising the work we do out here. And we just say we love you. This is the beginning of the weekend now.
Yeah.
This Vendredi soir. Enjoy yourselves, but not with moderation, please. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.